So the organization that I chose to interview was called Ampersand Families. It's located right here in St. Paul, and their main mission is to recruit and support permanent families for teens and older youth who are in the foster care system in Minnesota, and then to help them get adopted. So their vision is that every young person who has gone through neglect and abuse and trauma, that they would be able to be placed into a safe and permanent family. So that's a really cool thing that they're doing. And then just a little bit about the company. So they were founded in 2008 by the co-founders Michelle Chalmers, who is the current executive director, and also Jen Braun, who is the former co-existing officer. This organization was created to fill the gap in the existing adoption effort. So teens that have been removed from their parents' care due to neglect or other reasons, they have got a very slim chance of being adopted before they age out of the foster care system, which is now 21 years old. And most programs for teenagers help with the aging out of the system, not necessarily the adoption part. So it's really cool that Aspen Families is able to help fill that gap, and they, in fact, are the only nonprofit in Minnesota who helps with that. So that's really cool. And since their opening in 2008, they have grown from a staff of 3 people with a budget of $300,000 to now today they have a staff of 10 people and a budget of $1 million. So it's very cool to see how far I had the opportunity to interview Michelle Chalmers, who is the executive director and co-founder of the organization. She herself was placed into foster care when she was in high school, and she actually aged out of the system in 1985. And her spouse have been able to adopt 6 kids, and they're like 20 to 34 years old now, which is awesome. And then she holds a master's degree in social work from Osborne College in Minneapolis, which she graduated from that in 1994. And then, as a graduate of the foster care system, she's really passionate about the need for system reform and a more family focus. So basically, the major issue that is associated with this organization is, why do teenagers need families? So Aspen Families is the only nonprofit agency in Minnesota that's solely focused on older youth, so 10 years and older, and they are a resource for youth, families, and professionals seeking to promote permanent relationships between teens who have experienced trauma and sick. Many of the teenagers who age out of the foster care system and leave are highly unprepared for the world. They suffer from emotionally and financial loss by the time that they enter adulthood. So just some stats here. By age 19, nearly half of young women who have aged out of the foster care system will become pregnant, and by the time that they are 20, over half of that group will have a second child. And then, according to the Foster Club, 1 in 5 will become homeless by age 18. Only half will be employed by age 24. Less than 3% will earn a college degree, and 1 in 4 foster children will experience post-traumatic stress disorder. So just a ton of hurt that goes on in the foster care system. This organization has been doing a great job in addressing the social issue of foster care. They provide all of the services required for a family to adopt a child under the guardianship of the Commissioner of Human Services in Minnesota, and this is at no cost to the families. And they encourage families who are considering adoption or just want to help families out to be what they call buddy families. They also provide leadership in Minnesota and nationally to champion policies and practices to expand family and youth participation and community engagement, and just to help the child welfare system overall. And then they also provide consultation and customized training for public and private agencies in Minnesota, and then both nationally and internationally. So something that this organization could do to improve what they're already doing is just to improve the number of foster families that are willing to adopt teenagers in the Twin Cities. And this can only be done through education and awareness. So many people simply don't know all of the issues surrounded with foster care, and they just need to know. And so the only way that they can do that is through people telling them, through social media, and just a greater awareness for the issues and needs that are going on in Minneapolis.